Meanwhile, in a nearby hospital room, Dahlia's grandfather lay unconscious, his face ashen. Florence and several members of the Nicholson family gathered together as they discussed countermeasures hushedly. How peculiar. Old Mr. Nicholson has always been fine. Why did he suddenly fall ill? Exactly. He's always looked so strong and healthy. Who would have guessed that this would happen if he fell ill? Everyone sighed with pity for the old man. How's Grandad? Dahlia bolted into the room in her heels. She had been in a meeting when she received the news of her grandfather falling ill and rushed over as fast as possible. Dahlia, the doctors think that he might not make it, Florence mumbled, shaking her head. What? Dahlia's face paled. How could that be? Wasn't he fine yesterday? I think it's weird too. But maybe this is his fate. Florence sighed. Where's the doctor? Doctor? Dahlia called, distraught. It's futile. All sorts of doctors have checked him. They say his symptoms are too weird. There's no way for them to find the root cause of his condition, and the only thing left to do is wait for his death. Impossible, shrieked Dahlia as she began to panic. She couldn't imagine her grandfather, who loved her so dearly, passing away. Dahlia, I know a fabulous doctor. He might be able to do something. Matt, who had been standing nearby, finally spoke. A fabulous doctor? Who? Can they really save my grandfather? Dahlia perked up instantly. His name is Dr. Ross Leicester. He just arrived from Millsburg, and his medical skills are top-notch. He's able to cure all sorts of illnesses. He also happens to be Dr. Rowan Cross-Apprentice, Matt replied. Dr. Cross-Apprentice? Everyone's expressions began to brighten when they heard that. Dr. Cross was well known. Even people in South City were familiar with his accomplishments. He was on par with Dr. Watkins and Dr. P, who were both already at the top of the pyramid when it came to medicine. His skills were so good they had already reached perfection. As his apprentice, Dr. Leicester's skills must be outstanding. Can you really get him to examine Grandad? Dahlia asked, her tone hopeful. This doctor was her grandfather's only shot now. He's my friend. He'll come if I ask him to. Matt nodded. That's wonderful news. If old Mr. Nicholson gets well, the Nicholson family will be in your debt. Everyone agreed. This is nothing. Let me ask for him. Matt smiled and left the room. As soon as Matt had left, Dustin entered the ward but was stopped in his tracks by Florence. What are you doing here, Rhys? She snapped. I heard that Grandad's sick. I'm here to visit him. Dustin's face was somber. Visit him? Who do you think you are? You're no longer my son-in-law. We don't welcome you here, hissed Florence as she glared at him. What's wrong? Mom? Dahlia rushed over when she heard the commotion. This bastard is pretending to care and wants to visit your grandfather. I bet he knows your grandpa's time is almost up, so he's here to try to get a piece of the family fortune. Florence mocked. Everyone in the Nicholson family knew that Henry Nicholson had always treated Dustin like his own grandson. It would be no surprise if the old man left Dustin something to take over. You've got it all wrong. I'm just worried about Grandad's condition, Dustin explained. Still suspicious, Florence scoffed at him. Who knows what your true intentions are? Mom, just let him in. He's just showing his love for Grandad. Dahlia quipped. Dahlia, this kid I'll take responsibility if something happens. Florence was about to say something else but swallowed her words and stepped aside reluctantly. Thank you. Dustin gave a nod of thanks and walked straight into the ward. The sickly old man was ashen. He looked as though he had just experienced a stroke. Dustin reached out to touch Henry's hand. He was shocked to discover that, although his limbs were cold, an extreme heat emanated from under the pale skin. The flaming frost poison? Dustin pondered as he narrowed his eyes, silently coming up with treatment methods. The flaming frost poison caused the strangest symptoms. On the outside, the patient would be freezing cold while their insides were actually burning hot. Treating either symptom would be ineffective and could even backfire if the medication used was too strong. This explained why the doctors could not do anything to treat Henry. "Dahlia, bring me some hot water," Dustin ordered. "Whatever for?" Dahlia was puzzled. "Granddad's weak, and he can't hold on for much longer. I need to treat him now," he explained grimly. "You?" Dahlia frowned. "What nonsense are you spouting now? Do you even know anything about medicine?" "A little." "And you dare to show off? What in the world are you thinking?" Dahlia asked, visibly annoyed. This was a person's life they were talking about, not child's play. "Do you even know what you're saying? Rhys? What makes you think you can cure him? Will you take responsibility if something goes wrong?" Florence chastised. "Exactly. Old Mr. Nicholson's already suffering enough, so why are you causing more trouble? Just stay out of the way." Everyone was unhappy as Dustin was nothing more than a self-absorbed punk in their eyes. How could he, a mediocre white-collar worker who had been fired and had achieved nothing outstanding in the past 3 years, know anything about curing diseases and saving lives? If I'm saying it aloud, it means I have faith in myself that I can cure him. "Let me try," Dustin responded in a determined voice. "Dustin, will you stop messing around?" Dahlia snapped. "You're neither a doctor nor are you medically certified. How can you say that you can save him? I let you in to visit Grandpa, not to boast. Can you just trust me this once?" Dustin pleaded, upset. If he wasn't sure he could do it, there was no way he would meddle with Henry's life. "This has nothing to do with trust. The fact is, you cannot do it. I won't let you play around with Granddad's life." Dahlia refused bluntly. After 3 years of marriage, they both knew each other like the backs of their hands. There was no way Dahlia could know whether Dustin could do it.